Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Robert Garnell, and you are tuned in to the Bergnovinaia Sports Radio Network with live broadcast coverage from Project Thatius. Included in today's programming, the results of Day 4 from the Internazionali Open, as well as other results of sporting events abroad. Without further ado, let's jump straight into results of Match Day 4 for the Bergnovinaia players that competed. In Group 2, Ivan Crush of Bergnovinaia defeated Julius Marzad of ATL in a 3-set, quite easy match. Ivan easily won the first two sets 6-2, 6-2, but Julius Marzad forced the third set to a 6-all tiebreaker. Ivan Crush rallied at 6-all in the tiebreaker to win the set tiebreaker 8-6 and to win the entire match 6-2, 6-2, 7-6, 8-6. In Group 4, Stanley Charles of Bergnovinaia defeated Bergnovinaian of NPR in a 4-set match. Charles dropped the first set in a disappointing 1-6 loss, but he rallied to win the second, third, and fourth set 6-4, 6-4, 7-5. The win over Karenzo puts Stanley Charles at the top of his group, tied with Bradley Karajovic of Thatius. In Group 8, Pete Foulet defeated Kłębaj Jazycki of NPR in a 4-set match. Foulet won the first two sets 6-3, 6-2 before dropping the third set 3-6. He would bounce back to win the fourth and final set 6-4. The win puts Foulet near the middle of his group with a 2-run record. Despite the 3 wins that these Bergnovinaia players experienced, the fourth and final Bergnovinaia player in Group 5 had a very disappointing match. Joshua Fuller of Bergnovinaia faced David Bishop of the Andromeda Islands. Fuller lost in a 5-set match. Bishop won the first set 6-4, but Fuller bounced back to win the second and third sets 6-1, 6-4. Bishop would rally and win the fourth and fifth sets in very close scores 7-5, 6-4. Once again, David Bishop won the match 6-4, 1-6, 4-6, 7-5, 6-4. The loss that Fuller experienced puts him in third place in his group, behind David Bishop of the Andromeda Islands and Philippe Comangi of Thatius. Turning now to NS Sporting Tennis News elsewhere. Bergnovinaia has yet to announce if they will make a host bid for a tournament during the summer season in Bergnovinaia. The last tournament hosted in Bergnovinaia was in Malone, and that was in the first edition of the International Tennis Association. However, the second edition of the International Tennis Association, headed up by civil citizenry, seems to be a little bit more speculative of the method of which Bergnovinaia took in the first edition, which caused it to fall apart. Stay tuned to see if Bergnovinaia makes a bid. Before our programming continues, it is time for a word from our sponsors. The Bergnovinaia Sports Radio Network is sponsored by Bergbucks Incorporated, wishing you a happy morning. Bergbucks Incorporated is amongst one of the largest coffee franchises in the NS world. To get one of their delicious coffees or to open a franchise in your nation, visit their global economics page. The Bergnovinaia Sports Radio Network is also sponsored by Joshua Fuller Photography. Joshua Fuller Photography boasts of some of the finest photography in Bergnovinaia. To see some of his artistic works or to look at his portrait samples, visit his art and fiction page. The Bergnovinaia Sports Radio Network is also sponsored by Crystal Cruises, wishing you a safe and joyous journey to your destination. To order a cruise or to put your port up for a port of entry, visit their global economics page. The Bergnovinaia Sports Radio Network is also sponsored by Jory Jory Bottling Company. Jory Jory Bottling Company is the leading bottling company globally, and they boast of their newest energy drink, Ernex, which has no sugar and tastes great. It's also packed with vitamins and there's no cash. Visit their global economics page. The Bergnovinaia Sports Radio Network is also sponsored by listeners like you. Thank you. Now turning to sporting news elsewhere, Bergnovinia was disappointingly eliminated from the 55th edition of the World Cup. Bergnovinia had such high hopes for this team, but they finished in 8th or 9th place in their group. Also, the Cereal Bowl is underway, in which the Cowboys of Bergnovinia have taken on the Trojans in Matchday 1. The Cowboys lost 24-17 in the first matchday. In the second matchday, they took on the Crystal Lake Sprites and lost 27-17. It seems as though everything except for tennis is going very poorly for Bergnovinia. Also, Bergnovinia is competing in the 14th edition of the World Bowl. After Matchday 5, Bergnovinia was in second place in their group, just behind Della Clava. However, in Matchday 6, Bergnovinia had to face Della Clava and lost 34-14 to them, a very disappointing result. Bergnovinia now is in 4th place in the group out of 6 competitors. Also, Bergnovinia is competing in the FTF World Indoor Soccer Championship. Bergnovinia won their match 2-0 over Undead Soldierland yesterday, but yet Bergnovinia still remains in 6th place, with Undead Soldierland in 3rd. Biravir is in 1st place in that group with a 3-2-1 record. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Bergnovinian Sports Radio Network. Be sure to stay tuned for more of the greatest NF sporting coverage. If you wish to have your event broadcast or wish to advertise with BSRN, contact them at bsrn.live@yahoo.com. You can also follow the Bergnovinian Sports Radio Network and their affiliates at bsrn.tumblr, that's TUMBLR.com. Thank you for listening. I am Robert Carnell, and be sure to tune in.